When people hear the word haunted, they usually think of one simple image: a ghost drifting through an old house, rattling chains, moaning in the night. But the truth is, paranormal researchers and storytellers often divide hauntings into very different categories. Not every haunting looks or feels the same. Some seem like they're intelligent spirits trying to talk to us. Others are more like recordings, looping the same scene endlessly. And then there are the cases that don't seem like human spirits at all, but something much darker. Tonight, we're breaking down the main types of hauntings you'll hear about in the world of the paranormal. Residual hauntings, intelligent hauntings, poltergeist activity, shadow people, and demonic hauntings. By the end, you'll see how each one paints a very different picture of what might be waiting in the dark. Residual hauntings are sometimes called place memories or stone tape hauntings. The idea is that powerful emotions, grief, violence, trauma, or even joy, can leave an imprint on a location, almost like pressing a recording into the walls and floors. A classic example is battlefields, where witnesses claim to see phantom soldiers marching or hear distant gunfire when nothing is there. Or old houses where footsteps are always heard at the same hour, on the same staircase, no matter who lives there. The key feature of a residual haunting is repetition. The spirit doesn't interact with you. It doesn't respond. It just plays the same moment over and over. It's less like meeting a ghost and more like watching a clip from the past bleed into the present. Believers see this as proof that human emotions can literally scar the physical world, leaving echoes behind. Skeptics, on the other hand, argue its expectation and suggestion. If you're told a house is haunted, your brain may fill in the sounds or sensations you're supposed to experience. But either way, residual hauntings remain one of the most commonly reported types of paranormal activity. If residual hauntings are just recordings, then intelligent hauntings are what most people think of when they imagine a ghost. In these cases, the entity appears aware of the living. It interacts. People report spirits knocking in response to questions, moving objects deliberately, or even speaking through EVP recordings. Some claim they've been touched, tapped, or even comforted by an unseen presence. These hauntings are often tied to a specific person, a previous homeowner, someone who died suddenly, or even a loved one visiting after death. Paranormal investigators often seek out intelligent hauntings because they seem to prove communication with the dead. Skeptics argue that most of the evidence, like knocks, lights, or voices on tape, can be explained by coincidence, faulty equipment, or wishful thinking. But to believers, intelligent hauntings are the strongest sign that death isn't the end, and that spirits really can reach across the veil. Few types of hauntings are as dramatic or as terrifying as poltergeist activity. The word comes from German, meaning noisy spirit, and the name fits perfectly. Poltergeists aren't just about footsteps or faint whispers. They're about chaos, objects flying across the room, furniture tipping over, silverware rattling inside drawers, doors slamming shut, people being scratched, shoved, or even bitten. Some of the most famous paranormal cases in history, the Enfield haunting in England or the Rosenheim case in Germany, involved poltergeist activity. Witnesses reported furniture moving in front of multiple people, objects vanishing and reappearing, and even children being thrown by invisible forces. But here's the twist. Some researchers believe poltergeists aren't ghosts at all. Instead, they think it's the human mind unconsciously releasing energy, often tied to teenagers going through emotional stress. Basically, the theory is that the person is creating the chaos without realizing it. Skeptics usually dismiss poltergeists as hoaxes, fueled by attention-seeking, exaggeration, or misinterpreting natural events. But believers argue the consistency of the reports, across cultures and centuries, makes it harder to ignore. Then there are shadow people. Unlike ghosts that appear as misty figures or clear apparitions, shadow people are described as dark, human-like shapes. Sometimes they're just glimpses in your peripheral vision. Other times, they're fully formed silhouettes standing in doorways or watching from the foot of your bed. They rarely speak and they rarely move. Their presence alone is enough to terrify witnesses. In many reports, people say the air becomes heavy, their heart races, and an overwhelming sense of dread washes over them. Shadow people are often linked to sleep paralysis, a condition where you wake up unable to move, sometimes with hallucinations. Scientists say that explains the visions, but believers argue that shadow people are too consistent and too real to be written off as brain tricks. Some even claim shadow people aren't spirits of the dead at all, but something else, interdimensional beings, watchers, or even omens of death. Whatever the explanation, shadow people occupy one of the darkest corners of paranormal lore. Finally, we reach the most terrifying category: demonic hauntings. Unlike ghosts, which are said to be the spirits of the once living, demons are considered inhuman entities, things that were never alive to begin with. They don't just scare people, they torment them. Reports of demonic hauntings often follow a pattern. It starts small, tapping on walls, strange smells, unexplained cold spots. But the activity escalates: objects flying, scratches on the body, growls in the night. Victims often report feelings of deep despair, nightmares, and even violent physical attacks. In the most extreme cases, demonic hauntings are said to lead to possession, where the entity takes control of a person entirely. Skeptics point to sleep paralysis, mental illness, or religious influence as explanations for these terrifying accounts. But for believers, demonic hauntings are proof of something far darker than just a restless spirit, proof of a spiritual battle between good and evil. Each type of haunting tells a different story. Residual hauntings show us that places may hold memories. Intelligent hauntings suggest that our loved ones might still be watching over us or trying to reach out. Poltergeists hint at forces of chaos we don't understand. Shadow people leave us questioning what else might be out there. And demonic hauntings, they remind us that some forces may not be human at all. Whether you believe these categories or not, one thing is certain: they reflect some of our deepest fears about death, the unknown, and the possibility that we're not as alone as we think. So the next time you hear a bump in the night or catch something moving out of the corner of your eye, ask yourself, if hauntings really do exist, what type are you dealing with? Is it just an echo of the past? Or is it something darker, watching, waiting, and maybe even trying to get closer? If you enjoyed this breakdown of hauntings, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more paranormal deep dives. And tell me in the comments, which type of haunting do you think is the most terrifying?